les larmes qui noyaient dans cette terre brûlée. Madame, la terre est tournée pour être réfugiée de notre guerre.
Is it? Going home in the morning sun, softly on my own in the morning sun. In the morning sun.
5 minutes.
In 10 minutes we are in Ljubljana, guys. We are ready.
Run, Puzzle Man!
Super ste! Vi ste boljši! Vi ste boljši!
We can make them draw.
And then ideally,
do dodgeball. Yeah, but with the small balls.
okay. I think we've got
already a lot of games, and we should move to something like to games with words.
We don't know if they speak
I
English.
don't-
Maybe they don't speak English. Maybe they
We can translate.
there is like some kind of a game where you divide people in like pairs, and then they tell the story. For example, you tell her your story, she tells you your story. Like something, my name is blah blah, and I'm from here, blah blah blah. And then in the circle,
You present.
yeah, it can be that.
You present.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
What? This one is with Arad.
Okay.
Policemen were so serious with us. I look suspicious.
Are you serious?
I look suspicious.
Oh, did they check you?
And then I told them we're going to meet. Are we serious?
Yeah.
But then they told me
irony,
we are serious. I told them no, you're not. We're meeting them in 2 hours. Peace, refugees.
Now going into Vukovar. I living into Vukovar. I born 1948. I like travel.
ADM, 8 delivery mission.
Proleće na moje rame sleće, đuđeva zeleni, đuđeva zeleni, svima osim meni. Drumovi odoše, a ja osta, nema zvijezda. Nema zvijezde danice, nema zvijezde danice, moje saputnice. Hej, Evo zore, Bogu da se pomolim. Evo zore, aj čuđem danje, a ja nisam s onim koga volim.
Mr. Son of Stars. Strange that strangers don't have any intentions to be a stranger at all.
Cross the border and come to Turkey. Turkey and stand 10 or 15 days. I crossed the first time Turkey to Bulgaria. Forest, please catch me. He beating me by forest. Why you are coming to Bulgaria? He out my cloth without. He sent me without only one underwear. He catch my bag, food things and pants, shirt, only without running by. Send me by one underwear. But I'm second time again try to in Bulgaria and try, but please catch me.
Like the first days, I don't know, I cannot really say, because words, they cannot put that into some shape, because it's so like it's everything. But I would say it is really, really inspiring. I'm so glad to be with all the people, because it's, you feel the human energy and you feel how everybody wants to move and do things and explore, and it's great, like within the group, but also with the people that we meet on the route, with the volunteers, and with the people in the camp.
Dobrodošli, bolje prošli. So it's similar in Serbia. At the beginning, media were, how to say, 50-50, and then we had, we were a lot in media. and they really felt the need to help these people. But they had the idea that people would pass, that they would go. Now when people are staying, you can see how things are changing in media. People are not being called refugees anymore, they're being called migrants. We as the, smaller organization than UNHCR and UN agencies, of course, are doing as much as we can.
Those who have been for 7 months in the woods, when yesterday they were looking at me, I mean, they're not here. I don't know, you as an organization, what are the options? The government says, okay, you can't work with the people in the jungle.
No one is controlling you. The government says there is no people in the jungle.
Okay.
When I came to Subotica, it was in the end of November. We used to have a community center, space where people could go during the day and charging phone, having internet, having a tea. We also distributed some clothes and food, and yeah, so it was kind of a good thing because it was already pretty cold. Unfortunately, the neighbors got really scared by having a lot of people here around, so they designed a petition, and then police made a lot of troubles, so we need to shut it down. Yeah, then for us it was pretty tough or like difficult to find a way how to support the people, how to continue doing that. So we find the way to really go to the place where they sleep and slept. I went to the jungle, to the brick factory, and to a train station. Those were like 3 places here in Subotica. For the food, we continued to give out like fresh vegetables and some stuff as fruits. And yeah, so we distributed always at the point, kind of, I don't know, invisible, or we try to be like that. It was really ninja action always, because police was kind of not so happy to have us here. Yeah.
كانت وحشة، ما عندي بزاف ما شفتهاش.
شو هو؟
أنا اشتقت إلى أمي، عندي مدة ما شفتهاش.
Okay.
فقط.
He misses his mother because it's been so long that he hasn't seen her. 8 months. He hasn't seen her for 8 months and he misses her. وشو ليش بتعني لك يعني؟ خبرنا أكثر عنها.
ليش تعني لي؟ عندي هي الحياة، هي الأولى في الحياة هذه.
She is the most important person in his life. She's number 1 in his life.
ओ पिया चन्ना मेरे आ चन्ना मेरे आ चन्ना मेरे आ बेलिया महफिल में तेरी हम ना रहे जो गम तो नहीं है किससे हमारी नजदीकियों के कम तो नहीं है इतनी दफा.
Everybody say mostly Pakistani people's mother, because Pakistani people have courage, have brave to do this.
And the brain.
Yes. multi-talented. So many people smuggle good and so many bad. It's dependent on experience, depending on the brain thinking. Any place, so many people good, so many people bad. They choose this way because some troubles to do smuggling.
खर्च करानी सी अभी मैं चल 305 चरक करना एक गल सुनाने सच तरीके नी तेनु यार बच्चे तेरी मेरी No.
It's no problem.
You say after or during?
No, this between this.
With the bells. Okay. Then I count 3, 2, 1, and we shut up all together.
Okay. Shut up.
Ready? Don't even try to move because the microphone hear everything.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
You cannot love any passenger because they live not in one place. He cannot cheat with you, but they must go. Okay. मोहब्बत न करना मुसाफिर से इनका ठिकाना दूर होता है. ये बेवफा नहीं होते, इनको जाना ज़रूर होता है.
Test.
Refugees back home.
My voice is better than
Probably. No offense.
No offense.
يا من هواه أعزه وأذلني كيف السبيل إلى وصالك دلني يا من هواه أعزه وأذلني كيف السبيل إلى وصالك دلني.
Whoops. Because I was in clown brain. I'm pretty good now. And when you're in clown brain, you forget things that are important because you're stupid on purpose.
أنت الذي حلفتني وحلفت لي وحلفت أنك لا تخون فخنتني وحلفت أنك لا تميل مع الهوى أين اليمين وأين ما عاهدتني تركتني حيران صبا دائما أرى النجوم وأنت في عيش هاني تيرا لا 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 تيرا لا لا تيرا لا 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 لأقعدن على الطريق وأشتكي وأقول مظلوم وأنت ظلمتني ولا دعون عليك في غسق الدجى.
Well, they are in adventure time. Yeah. We went together to discover the bureaucratic ways of Thessaloniki and
Greece.
Belgium together.
Yeah. Okay, they went to Thessaloniki this morning
Because they cannot get into Macedonia.
but one of them, Ahmed, actually had a little problem with the passport. But as we said before, we are in a problem-solving mood, so everything will be alright. It doesn't depend on us, but
on our energies.
Yes, but on our energy. We can, yeah, positive energy. We reached Thessaloniki.
لأقعدن على الطريق وأشتكي وروم وأنت ظلمتني ولا دعون عليك في غسق الدجى يبليك ربي مثلما أبليتني تيراراريرارارارا تيرارارا
our office in Lojane between Serbians and Macedonian border.
Hi, I'm Alexandra. I'm working for Legis, and we are now in the office of Legis in Lipko area, in the village of Lojane, where we are working for the past 5 months to provide emergency aid and assistance to the irregular migrants, refugees and migrants that are crossing this area and trying to get to Western Europe. This is my colleague Lirim. He's one of our field workers here who is directly working with the refugees that are crossing. So he will tell you more about his daily work and what services we provide in this office here.
In this office we work every day. We see everyday refugees moving here. We see them having a lot of troubles. When we have a chance we interview them. We are only 2 volunteers working here.
We work with local people, mostly here. Our staff and volunteers are coming from this area and they are providing life-saving services and aid to population in transit. A lot of them women and children. March 2015 and 16 we're talking about closed Balkan Route, but unfortunately this is not the case because we are having hundreds of people crossing here and since the last 3 months mid-September to mid-December we had more than 2,000 people.
The camp that we're going to visit now is was the exit point when the route was in transit. It's one of the points where which my organization Legis established as a point of support point. In the times when we managed to push the government to change the law on asylum and allow people to register in the country. After some months of this happening, the authorities came, the crisis management center came, and they kind of established an official camp, which is now run by them and the Ministry of Labor and Social Policy. So now we are going to reach the camp and going to speak with the camp manager, Goran.
На територија на Република Македонија, едниот е на јужната страна Вино и Гевгелија и вториот е на северната граница према Република Србија, че Република Србија на 500 метри од дека, Табановци, Кумана.
So there are 2 camps in Macedonia. One is in the south of Macedonia, in the border with Greece. It's near Gevgelija. It's called Vinojuk camp, and this one is on the north border with Serbia. It's called Tabanovce, and the Serbian border from this camp is just 500 meters away. Both of the centers are transit, so they are not reception, and they are designed to give support to refugees during their transit. So part of the refugees were coming using the railway tracks from the south to the north. Another part was coming using the road infrastructure from the south to the north with buses and with taxis. Daily average of people it was 3,400. In the moment we have 16 people outside of the camp. For whom he doesn't have the possibility to decide to put them inside the camp, and he can, like in terms of resources there are, because there is no political decision, he cannot actually bring them in, so they have to stay outside.
والبوليس
شكرا حبيبي.
والبوليس يصفر له وبإيده يأشر له والسيارة
بإيده يأشر له.
What I say?
I don't know.
I say بإيده يأشر له.
Oh.
Okay. كلنا عندنا سيارات وجد كلنا عندنا سيارات وجدي عنده حمار بيركبنا خلفه ياخدنا مشوار والبوليس يصفر له بإيدي يأشر له لا تتصفر له لا بابا. Okay, let's go to the parade.
كله عنده سيارة وجدي عنده حمار بيركبنا خلفه ياخدنا مشوار والبوليس يصفر له بإيده يأشر له سيارة تتسمر له با با با. كلهم عندهم سيارات وجدي عنده حمار بيركبنا خلفه ياخدنا مشوار والبوليس
NGO Legis was founded in 2009, and during this period until 2014, when we started working in Macedonia with this refugee crisis, we had a couple of international humanitarian missions in a couple of emergency places in the world, such as Palestine, Somalia, Syria, Myanmar, the floods in Serbia and Bosnia, etc. So in 2014, started the first casualties of the people who died on the roads, on the railway in Macedonia. And many people also told us that there are groups who are coming and walking through Macedonia from Greece to Serbia. And we went to discover what is happening, and that's how we started our first work with the refugees to see the situation and to alarm the institutions. When we asked some of the institutions, they said that they didn't have mandate to work with illegal migration in that time. Then we said, okay, if we could work in their countries, we have to work in our country with all of them who are coming. So that's how we started establishing our mobile teams on the way, and on this way working with humanitarian medical support of the refugees who are walking 200 kilometers from the border to the border, from the south to the north in Macedonia. In 2015 happened some big changes. One of them, or two of them, we were initiating. One of them was changing of the law for asylum. When we asked the government to change the law, to take the example from Serbia, so all these illegal migrants can be registered, can have the right for 72 hours to use the public transport, so they will not walk anymore, and we can easily help to these people. So in April we asked this, and in June the law was changed, and the first groups that we saw on the road, we took them and we put them in the train so they could travel. But actually our government decided that it's much better for them if they can be in the camp from point A to the other camp to point B. So they will not meet with our citizens, and there will be no relations between them, so even if they don't spend money in the country. And also one of the problems were that the ticket, if you go from Gergelia now to Tabanovce, it will be 6 euros, but for the refugees it was 25 euros. It's something that we asked our government to change it, and the company for railway, but they said that they have costs and they have to.
The biggest transportation was definitely the trains. They were not allowing buses in the beginning, and they were not allowing taxis as well. Later on, when the number really rose and the capacity of the trains was overwhelmed, because the trains were really, really packed, so hard that people were suffocating inside and fainting. And once the train arrives in the north border, for example, at those times, the doors open and stop, and people start falling out. Our biggest fear when the train arrives was to get through all the doors and try not to have a person falling between, because there was it was a big, let's say, space between the gap between the platform and the train. And we had a lot of people actually falling in because they are sleepy, they are tired, they don't sleep anywhere. In that time, there was no accommodation. So wherever you go, whichever camp you visit, there is no sleeping. There is just maybe these benches, if there were, maybe nothing, maybe just the ground, and then you continue. And a lot of families were getting lost, and they were forgetting children, because they were exhausted, like extremely. So many times we have had, for example, calling from Bulgaria that there was a child left and they don't know who the child is. And then we run to the north trying to find a family that lost a child. And then you find the family that lost the child and you realize they have no idea that they lost the child because they have 5 more children with them and like they're 10,000 bags with them, and they are so tired that they cannot even stand on their feet, you know, because they don't sleep anywhere. So how they start? It's sleeping, for example, this 4 hours on the train, then they sleep a few hours on the bus to Belgrade, then they sleep, I don't know, a few hours on this bus to Subotica or to wherever they were going. So it goes like this.
There is almost no people, because when you know how many thousands of people were there and crossed, now when you go it looks like very empty, but now it's easy that you can have, when you have less people, you can approach individually and much easier to help them, to hear their problems. We feel them as our friends, as our families. Now some of them from Tabanovce, most of them, they went to Serbia or to Europe. And the ones who were in Bulgaria in the southern camp, they went, all of them, in Greece, where they're waiting for a relocation process. Some of them are very close to go to France or Sweden or Malta. They're waiting the date and the tickets. We are happy for them that they finally found a way, not to wait just in Macedonia, but to find their way to Europe and be together with their families. We have only one case, one person from 2016 March, who remained in Bulgaria, old man, 63 years old. Mr. Nolik, who is waiting for kind of passport, because now he has the visa to go to join his family in Germany, but he has no passport, so they don't have a place where to put the visa, so he's still stuck. And we are trying now with all other partners to find a way to make pressure on the government to issue some kind of document so they can put the visa and he can go to join with his family. And he's not so depressed that he's studying German language. He's now on the 3rd level. We are buying him the books and he is very good. He was an engineer, so he speaks fluently English, and now he's learning German. So in the times of depression, he was saying what will happen in the future, I don't know. I told him all the time, be happy because you know where is your family, it's in Europe, they are safe. Remember or think about the people whose families are in Syria or whose families members died, so he will never be able to see them again in their life.
Fair. This people, it's people. It's inhuman. It's inhuman. It's not fair. We are hope that in Europe there's many democracies. The people they are in Europe, very understood people. We're asking that to feeling and getting sensation about these people. These people, it's not animal. We are run from the war in Syria. This is global war in Syria. We are here. We are here just looking for some place safely. Nothing more. And thanks.
I have how does it feel? I love living here. Are you happy? I'm very happy. You just have to turn any place into your home. So you are comfortable everywhere.
I think 91, 92. Then the big issue started with the flag and then the name.
What is the
Then they changed it to former Yugoslavian Republic of Macedonia, and so on and so on. The issue remains. I see it like this: like imagine if you know how ancient Greece was, like all the cities were actually states, and there was the state of Athens or Sparta or Thessaloniki, and you know each city was its own state, and somehow you know they all united, but except Macedonia. And sure, Macedonia back then was in a way in part of the ancient Greece, but Macedonia never united officially with them as a country, as Greece. And now they say like Macedonia is Greek, but we say no, it's not. And it's a very silly issue because you cannot. I mean, it's like imagine if Sparta decided to be, you know, Sparta, not with Greece, just Sparta, and it will be the same issue because you know, it's a silly issue, and we try not to, you know, Get too involved in it. Yeah, politics doesn't help anyone. Yeah, it doesn't help. Never has, never will.
Guys, can anybody borrow me a scarf?
Here.
I can. I have one.
I
Gracias.
heard a thunder clap.
Yeah.
No. That's like no rice in it.
Yeah.
I'll be able to travel it.
Yes, but
Hello, my name is Aladdin. I am from Syria. My nationality is Palestinian. I live now in Greece since 1 year and 2 months. I hope all the countries help us, the people refugees. They are in Greece because the situation here is very bad in most of the camps. This is my question for all the country and all the government. They say we will help refugees. Why the border is closed suddenly when the people come in? Why the border is closed suddenly in front of the women and children? My dream for my family and all the people that are now in Syria to be safe. That's all.
إلا إذا غنى الهوى ليلا إلا إذا غنى الهوى
I think she gave it to him.
Από το πλατή παρακαλώ, πλατή.
I hear it like this. I hear it like
La 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 la.
The flow of migrants displaced by war and economic crisis from Syria and other countries into Europe has been increasing for years, but 2015 has seen an unprecedented explosion. Following on the heels of 2014, when over 600,000 people filed applications for asylum in the European Union, by far the largest number of asylum seekers are coming from Syria, fleeing the brutal civil war that has stretched now for years. But large numbers of migrants have also arrived from Afghanistan, Kosovo, Eritrea, and other conflict-torn nations. The European Union officially decided to resettle 160,000 of these refugees in principle, whatever that means.
The destabilization caused by the civil war in Libya has created conditions for a massive flow of migrants through that country from all over Africa, out into the Mediterranean Sea, bound for Europe. Italy shut down its search and rescue mission in the Mediterranean aimed at rescuing migrants from Libya at risk of drowning. As a result, migrant deaths in the Mediterranean increased 18-fold in the first 4 months of 2015 compared to the same months in 2014. The most horrifying incident took place in April when over 800 migrants died after a crowded boat departing from Libya towards Europe capsized. At least 3,460 migrants have died in the Mediterranean so far in 2015. Still, thousands continued to brave the Mediterranean and Aegean Sea crossings from North Africa or Turkey.
When the European Union started to militarize the Mediterranean Sea in an effort to stem the flow of migrants into Italy, more and more people began attempting to enter Europe through the Balkans. The Greek-Macedonian border became one of the first battlefields, when Macedonia set up barbed wire fences, stationed soldiers at the border, and prevented thousands of people from continuing their way up north.
The situation is chaotic and rapidly changing, as efforts to stop or redirect the flow of people result in new hotspots and points of conflict. The traditional humanitarian organizations, like the UNHCR and the Red Cross, have been utterly unable to keep up with the task of supporting these hundreds of thousands of people, and only self-organized solidarity efforts have managed to stave off total disaster in many areas.
Traditionally, the United Nations and the Red Cross have been the primary institutions facilitating asylum around the world. But UN High Commissioner for Refugees Antonio Guterres told Time magazine that humanitarian organizations are no longer able to clean up this mess. Even by the most official accounts, the world is at war and in constant chaos. It's estimated that 80% of the world's refugees flee to developing countries. It wasn't until 2 boats sank in the Mediterranean that the crisis became a European concern, the so-called European migrant crisis, and that the Western world started discussing political solutions to the worst humanitarian crisis of our time. When an image of the dead body of a small Syrian child washed up on the shore of the Turkish resort of Bodrum went viral, the discourse shifted once again. More people began referring to the crisis as one made up of refugees and not just economic migrants. According to international standards, fleeing poverty is not a good enough reason to leave your country, while fleeing war, dictatorship, and religious extremism is, which is why the term refugee carries more political weight. Since the Syrian civil war started in 2011, over 4 million people have left their homes there behind. Most have fled across the border to Turkey, and as refugee camps swell over capacity, people are moving east and north looking for asylum in Europe. In reaction, European countries are closing down their border crossings and pushing back refugees with batons, water cannons, and rubber bullets. Ironically, Europe is perhaps more welcoming of migrants and refugees now than it ever has been, because Europe is in desperate need of exploitable surplus populations. The violence at the border is just a first step in producing that workforce.
damn.
Going far beyond a discourse of immigrant rights into a multifaceted attack against the role borders play in upholding oppression and social control.
Solidarity means fighting the border. In the last few weeks, thousands more people are waking up to the misery caused by the borders. Let's take this energy and grow it into a movement of solidarity and rebellion against the border system. Let's tear down the walls. We believe in solidarity, not charity. Charity is an unequal relationship. One person is the active giver, the other is a passive beneficiary. Charity keeps alive the division between powerful, active, mainly white Europeans with passports and powerless, passive, African and Asian victims without papers. However well-intentioned, it helps cement the deep inequalities of this world of states, borders, colonialism, and capitalist exploitation. Solidarity strives to be an equal relationship. We fight alongside each other. As the famous quote says, because your liberation is bound up with mine. The borders certainly hit some people much harder than others, but they are an affront to all of us, and one part of a sick system that attacks us all. The problem will not be covered by a million blankets. The violence and misery here are a direct result of the border. As long as states keep on using razor wire fences, cops, batons, tear gas, media hatred, and other weapons to try and stop people crossing, there will be suffering. The only way to address this problem is to rise up against the border. Action against the border can take many forms. Every person who crosses undermines the border. Every hole in the fences undermines the border. Defending each other against police violence helps undermine the border. Sharing information and ideas helps undermine the border. Challenging racist media propaganda and spreading our own visions of solidarity and rebellion help undermine the border. The border is not just here. The borders run across Europe, and not just at the crossing points, but wherever there are immigration raids, street stops, detention centers, reporting centers, workplace or landlord ID checks, racist attacks, etc. Many people are asking us, what can we do? Our answer is, fight the border wherever you are. Find out where are the border controls and flashpoints near you. Take action. Help create a culture of solidarity, a world where borders are unacceptable. A world where no one is attacked or blocked because of the color of their skin, the country they happen to have been born in, or what bits of paper they have in their pocket.
أنا اسمي رانيا وراح أحكي مشان بيكبا، وبدي أوصل هذا الحكي للمدير تبع بيكبا أو اللي بده شهادة تبع بيكبا. بيكبا كتير منيحة مع العالم، ونحن بنحبها لبيكبا لأن ساعدتنا كتير بكل شغلات، وبيكبا معاملاتها كتير منيحة معنا ومع هذا المرضى اللي عم يساعدوهم، والأكل والشرب والناس اللي عانتها بموريا طلعوها كلها هون وعم يساعدونا والمصاري. I love Bigba because it helped me very much, and I learned English, French, everything there, and she helped me to learn English and French, and I like that really so much. Bigba is very nice. I want from the God to open the door for Sweden, for Germany, for anything, because I'm afraid if ISIS he come there, because my uncle he kill him, and I see my uncle, and I afraid that's why I come to Greek, and My grandfather now is dead before 2 weeks. He has very sick and he cut her leg because it's very sick. And that's why I go out from all this problem. I want to help us, please.
Hello, yes. Go to Mollywood.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
All together, food, sandwich.
Yes.
Small, big, I don't know.
Yes.
And later, Estalo.
Okay.
Go to Hammam. With Hammam, thermal water. Hot water, yes.
Okay, but you know where they are?
No.
You don't know?
Estalo, no.
The problem is
Borders. Borders.
borders.
And I want music now. يومية تحرق قلبي الأشواق هيجي جازي اللي بقلبي خلاك كل لحظة أباوع على روحي وأبكي والله تعبت من كثر الهم والله.
We were something like 80 person in that boat. It was so dangerous. They just told us you have to go straight. They say you have to just go straight and that mountains. Anybody of you know how to drive this boat?
So if the law will not do the right thing, other people will have to do the right thing, and they'll have to do the right thing by breaking the law. And that precedent has been set many times throughout our history. The people who saved the Jews from the German Nazis broke the law for a higher ethical purpose. The people who liberated slaves in our country through the Underground Railroad system to protect them from slave masters and a very barbaric law in the United States at that time. They did the right thing. They broke the law for a higher ethical purpose.
الفرقة علي بشتقنا إليهم إليهم والله معذبني بعيون الحلوة حالي حالي حال بالي بالي بال 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 كنا ستة على النبع اجا المحبوب صرنا سبعة كنا ستة على النبع اجا المحبوب صرنا سبعة الله وطالب بوسي ما عطيته وطالب بوسي ما عطيته قلت له حرام يوم الجمعة يا عين قلت له حرام يوم الجمعة وحالي حالي حال بالي بالي بال حالي حالي Yalla 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 yalla
ناكل معكم عشان نسمع الصراحه قالوا لنا نوصل
problem. I'm Superman! Here we go. Are you ready to rock? Okay, here we go.
And she ain't sinking.
Making small bags out of life jackets. This is brilliant, really.
I like the
out of life jacket.
Yeah,
oh my God.
life jackets, and they're doing a lot of things. It's amazing. Kind of small bags for ID or big bags for
purses, everything.
purses, and big bags for laptop from the life jacket.
Everything.
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 Like sewing, but
Yes.
not really.
Everything is recycled, so they don't even buy glue. They make it through flour and.
Wow.
I don't marry nasty people.
And the kids were really good. One of them knew how to juggle. I made him some we made juggling balls for him together, and everybody's gonna learn how to juggle in that little place. And one of the directors knew how to juggle. They're very smart. They knew a lot of English.
Got their asylum. No.
I don't know.
No,
I never have time to ask about people.
They are Dublin. One of them, they told me that they are Dubliners. So no, they have the Dublin process. So they have the country in which they will go. They already knew it. Yeah. And they are studying for it. So it was nice. Really.
I did a show all by myself because you were too lazy.
Too lazy, right? Because I did 5 rides.
What?
Drives.
Oh,
I drove everyone home.
Yeah, well, I was driving them crazy with awesome shows.
Oh my God. And then also, we had a flat tire. And we had to change the tire.
But also, Suvi played the guitar and she's really badass.
Yeah.
She's super awesome at the guitar.
The birds are singing along, so I don't feel alone. Almost being home with this morning sun. Time to say goodbye in the morning sun.
We need to say goodbye to Lesbos.
Bye-bye, Lesbos.
I'm leaving Lesbos. It was a bit of everything. Very good, very bad, very sad, very happy. Very nice people. A lot of people treated very badly.
I arrived in Chios and it's a very lovely island. We spent 3 days in like a closed camp, It wasn't really a detention camp, but just not like the one in Moria, but you cannot go out of the camp. So we waited for 3 days and then we moved to the center. We spent one lovely night there, and then in the morning we took the ferry to Athens. But this is my favorite island. I don't know why, but I love this island.
Friends are like stars. You don't see them all the time, but you know they are there. दोस्त सितारों की तरह होते हैं, मगर आप इन्हें देख नहीं सकते. आपको पता होता है कि वो आपके इर्द गिर्द ही हैं.
What would we do if they implemented Mussolini's definition of fascism?
Fascism should more appropriately be called corporatism because it's a merger of state and corporate power.
I think if any of us were alive in Nazi Germany right now, we would know what a resistance movement should be doing. And we need to think about the culture of industrial civilization as if it's a culture of occupation, because it is.
The self-organized solidarity towards the refugees started more or less 2 years ago, that we had the first Afghani refugees being stranded in Athens. So what happened, we had a lot of refugees residing in a nearby park in the Exarchia neighborhood. We tried somehow to help them out with water and stuff like that. Then we realized that there were around 300 people. Water wasn't enough. So we made the call to an assembly, hoping that there would be enough people to support them for another 5 days at least. And hundreds of people showed up from all around Athens. All together we tried to self-organize and at the same time, in a way, relearn what self-organization is. So for a month we provided medical care, clothing, 3 meals a day, tents so they could sleep, sleeping bags so that they could take with them on their journey. That was the beginning of the major self-organization, solidarity towards refugees. And from there, 2 more initiatives popped up. One was Notara Squad, the first housing squad for refugees. And the other one was Platanos, self-organized camp, let's say, that was in Lesbos, that was in the front lines.
So for the first time that we get in Athens, we came to Plaza.
I would say City Plaza is a refugee accommodation space, but not just this, it's also like a political project. More or less 400 people are living inside of City Plaza. You have so many different nationalities inside here and so many different people with so many different backgrounds and intentions.
I know the history of Plaza. It was a hotel for Olympic in Athens. It was closed and nobody used it. So the anarchists, they unbanned it and they repaired it. They helped a lot of people, a lot of refugees to come here and live a little bit better than the other camps.
As far as I know, we haven't lost not even one immigrant or refugee. No one has committed suicide or got killed in camps. You have all the time suicides, desperate people, people that are dislocated from the major city centers. And in contrast to that, you have the squads that are inside the fabric of the city, and especially Exarchia, that we have more than 6 squads, housing squads for refugees and immigrants. That you see the people in the squads that are actually not integrated, but they feel part of this small community. We learn from them how to evolve our language and how we can break the borders of our mind and political beliefs and lower them so we can listen to them. So the whole process of finding the common ground with people that they come from a completely different cultural, social, political background, and meeting somewhere in the middle, and they're trying to form a new kind of space. I think it's one of the best political actions that can happen. And because you know afterwards what follows, that the person who is next to you, you know, she is a comrade in a much deeper kind of sense. Tendency to react to things. They do something, we react to it. No, we have to create the events that they will make the others to react on us. If it's a movement, it has to be everywhere. You know, we have to create a network. We have to all together to organize, self-organize. You know, it's something grander.
Maybe we don't have to go so to the back.
We have two people guarding the...
Okay, performing, we have nothing to our back.
Solidarity means fighting the border. In the last few weeks, thousands more people are waking up to the misery caused by the borders. Let's take this energy and grow it into a movement of solidarity and rebellion against the border system. Let's tear down the walls. We believe in solidarity, not charity. Charity is an unequal relationship. One person is the active giver, the other is a passive beneficiary. Charity keeps alive the division between powerful, active, mainly white Europeans with passports and powerless, passive, African and Asian victims without papers. However well-intentioned, it helps cement the deep inequalities of this world of states, borders, colonialism, and capitalist exploitation. Solidarity strives to be an equal relationship. We fight alongside each other. As the famous quote says, "Because your liberation is bound up with mine." The borders certainly hit some people much harder than others, but they are an affront to all of us, and one part of a sick system that attacks us all. The problem will not be covered by a million blankets. The violence and misery here are a direct result of the border. As long as states keep on using razor wire fences, cops, batons, tear gas, media hatred, and other weapons to try and stop people crossing, there will be suffering. The only way to address this problem is to rise up against the border. Action against the border can take many forms. Every person who crosses undermines the border. Every hole in the fences undermines the border. Defending each other against police violence helps undermine the border.
شافونا بنظرات العيون قالوا ترى دول يحبون من الصغر لما يكبرون مثل نجمة والقمر كبر حبنا وازدهر بعيونك حبيبي نبتدي دروب السفر لا 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 عالجرف قعدنا ليالي مر النهر والنخل عالي تغيرنا وكبرنا يا غالي ظل النهر والنخل عالي مثل نجمة والقمر كبر حبنا وازدهر بعيونك حبيبي نبتدي دروب السفر لا 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 la la la. La 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 la. That's it.